Hello everyone, and welcome to this live stream. I've been wanting to do this for a little while, and keen to show you guys what I got to show you. So in this video, I want to make kind of give you guys 5 different ways that you can grow your Bitcoins. Again, just want to reiterate, it's not financial advice or anything like that. So, obviously consult a professional before you invest any money. This is just my opinion, and it's for my journal that I'm doing as part of my course in digital currency traders. You can check that out. I'll chuck everything in the description. Speaking of which, the description you see is kind of full of a bunch of different links. It's also got an outline of the 5 different ways that that you can grow your Bitcoin. So if you don't want to stick around and watch them all, watch everything, just jump into the comments underneath to check that out. But first things first, last week I just started the video by looking at Bitcoin because it's good to kind of get a gauge of where it's at, and it's essentially mental at the moment. It's really rocketing upwards, a strong correction upwards, some would say. Others would say it's definitely a bubble. I'm probably siding with the latter there. It's definitely looking very bubblicious, but no one knows where it's going to end. Is it going to be getting up to 20k US? Is it going to go beyond that? These things tend to go faster and faster and faster until they collapse. Of course, if you're in it like I am for the long haul, this stuff doesn't matter so much. It still hurts a little bit when there is a drop, but it doesn't hurt as much. This incredible run-up has been supreme. I just wanted to show you guys something that I noticed here. If you set your EMA, which is exponential moving average, if you set that to a 20 and a 60, you kind of get a little bit of a gauge of where the price tends to fall during this run-up. So if you are in the position where you're trying to buy Bitcoin at the moment, if I were in that position right now, I would probably wait until the price gets close to this pink line, which is the EMA 20. Or if I'm a bit more patient, I might even wait for the EMA 60, which is the purple line underneath. Even if you're even more patient, you can of course set that to even higher number, like maybe 100 or more, and wait till the price hits that. But it seems to be kind of touching this 60 line every so often, and then more regularly touching this pink line. So I wouldn't be looking to buy at 12,600 at this point, although like any indicator, it can be 100% wrong, and the market can go in the exact opposite direction, something to always keep in mind. I did come across another indicator I recently learned about, which is pretty interesting. I'll show you guys real quick before we get into the video. The stochastic RSI. So this is like an indicator for volatility, and it kind of shows when it's down here underneath this pink band, it's probably due for a bit of a run up, and when it's up here, it's probably due for a little bit of a correction. And of course it doesn't sync up. As I said before, these indicators are for kind of information, and ultimately the trading game is won by how well you lose, how quickly you can close a position when it's not proving you correct. So if you can lose really well, you're going to win at trading. But these indicators do give you some sort of indication as to where the price could possibly be going. And the stochastic RSI is pretty interesting. Seems to measure these volatile motions, which is cool to look at. And you can see right now it's very much up. And my guess is it's probably due for a little bit of a correction down. But as you can see over here on the stochastic RSI, this point here, it certainly wasn't the case. It went up and it just kept on going bull. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt, like anything. So last video, a couple of days ago, I mentioned that I'll be giving away Clam Coin to a lucky person, to someone who comments with their Clam Coin address underneath the video. So I'm just going to use this random comment picker to pick one of the comments, and for that person I'll be sending them a clam. And I'm going to be doing it every single video, so if you're watching this now and you want to be in the draw, then congrats, Gary. I'll be sending you your Clam Coin. I can see your address down there as well. Just make a note of that. I'll do that after the video and send that off to you, Gary. Congrats. So I'm going to do it every video, so if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, I missed out, then just pop a comment underneath this video, and the next video I do, which will likely be on Sunday, going through my different coins, my favorite coins, I'll draw someone else out. So 5 ways that you can grow your Bitcoins. I want to structure this as least risky to most risky, and you should probably not take my advice at all, but if you are kind of following along and wanting to maybe do a couple of these things, obviously analyze them yourself well, and make sure that they're the right thing for you, and that that you're not throwing away your money, so to speak. But the first thing is something called faucets, and if you're not familiar with what a faucet is, it's basically a website where you can go and click prove that you're not a robot and get a small amount, like I'm talking a very small amount of Bitcoin, maybe a handful of Satoshi. And I'm going to show you how it's done. But the first thing that you want to do, if you're going to be clicking on a few faucets and just gathering some small acorns, so to speak, of Satoshi, or there's a bunch of different coins, I've chucked a whole bunch in the description if you want to click on them and check them out. The first thing you want to do is you want to open up a coinpot.co account. That's coinpot.co. And if you open up an account at coinpot.co, a lot of these different faucets actually plug into that using your email and will send you the coins directly. And the reason that they do that is because if they were sending the transactions on the actual blockchain of Bitcoin, it would start to get pretty expensive with fees. And so I think with CoinPot they have a system where they basically just allocate a certain amount to your account, and then only when you actually withdraw it do you pay, do you actually transfer it on the blockchain, so to speak. But the small amounts of Bitcoin that you're getting, and as you can see, we're talking a couple hundred Satoshi. I've got 7 Dogecoin, I've got some Litecoins, I've got some Dash coins as well. So the way that you do it, I'll just show you guys one of the sites that I use. This one here. This one's moonbit.co.in or whatever, and this one gives around probably 10 to 100 Satoshi, depending on kind of how long you're leaving your computer on for before you do it. And all you do is you literally just sign in with the email address. I created a new email address for this because I didn't want to get all the spam and stuff like that, but you can just probably use yours and block them or turn them into junk mail. Yeah, so you're already signed in, it remembers where you are, and then you can just click on claim, prove that you're not a robot, and then submit. And I had 802, and now I have 812. It's just giving me 10 Satoshi for nothing. And the way, the way these sites work is that they basically make money off of ads. There's a whole bunch of ads on there, you can check them out if you like. But what that also means is that your ad blocker is going to be preventing you from being able to claim anything. So make sure you pause the ad blocker, even if it's just for 5 minutes while you're doing your claim. The good thing about these faucets is that not only can you kind of make small amounts of money that you can try new trading strategies with, or maybe give to family and friends, but you can also claim as much as you like. Some of them have like limits for every 5 minutes max. Some of them have like longer waiting periods, but a lot of them just allow you to claim as soon as there's a new Satoshi in there. You can just claim it, and it kind of accumulates over the day. I know this one here gives out 1% daily loyalty bonus, so you get, if you come back every day, you get a bit extra or whatever. The other thing is that it might not seem like much money, but the way that Bitcoin's going, it could be worth something. I know that way back when Bitcoin started, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago now, they were giving away like between 1 to 5 Bitcoin on actual faucets, which is just crazy, unheard of. I mean, that sort of money now is worth heaps and heaps. Like it's crazy. So definitely worthwhile checking out. It's a really low risk option as well. This one here, Moonbit, it gives you pretty like normal amount of Satoshi. There are faucets that give you a bit more if you kind of take up offers or click on ads. I don't really like to do that because you might end up getting spam emails, or you might end up getting like viruses on your computer. I'm just not willing to risk that. But the other good thing is if you kind of tell your friends about it, you can get like a referral bonus. So that's the link that I've popped in the description as well. So if you guys click on it, it means that I'll like get an extra Satoshi or two, and you can tell your friends, and they'll get that too. So that's faucets in a nutshell. There's a lot of different ones out there. As I said, again, I'll show you the CoinPot account. You can claim like Doge, Litecoin, Dash, Bitcoin Core. I haven't found a Bitcoin Cash faucet, but stay tuned. If I find one, I'll be sure to let you guys know. The other thing you can do is you can actually turn these into whichever one you want. So if I'm particularly fond of Dogecoin, I can go to my Bitcoin Core account and I can convert Bitcoin Core to Dogecoin. And I can put in, let's say, how many zeros is that? 812. That's 5 zeros, right? Yeah, that's 812. So 812 Satoshis actually equals around 40 Doge, which is kind of fun. You can use that to maybe go tip people. You can tip people on Reddit with Dogecoin. You can tip people on YouTube and Twitter as well with Doge. It's a great little coin for kind of just sharing the love and saying how I are. So you can change them to whatever coin you want, which is cool. So let's move on to point 2 here, and point 2 is lending on Poloniex. So if you're not already familiar with the lending market that is available on Poloniex, basically you put your coins into Poloniex lending account. People use those coins, they lend them, they borrow them from you, pay you an interest rate which is pretty decent, or can be very decent, and they're not allowed to like take the coins anywhere. It all stays on Poloniex, but they actually use it for margin trading and stuff. So they they basically are loaning your coins to trade it on the market, but there's things in place to make sure that your coins are never lost. Like there's the margin call. So if they're borrowing, let's say, 1 Bitcoin from you, they're paying you an interest rate, they'll use that Bitcoin to say buy some Dogecoin or whatever they're buying. If Dogecoin goes up, they pay you your Bitcoin back plus some interest. If Dogecoin goes down, it can only go down to the point where your coins are still safe and you still get your interest. What a lot of people don't know about the lending market in Poloniex though is a lot of people just jump on here and be like, I'll just quickly transfer some clam. I've got a handful of clams here. Let's just like transfer, I don't know, 1 clam from my exchange to my lending account, so we've got something to play with. Go to clams. I can literally put in the rate of my choice, so I can offer it only at 0.01%, and I can offer my clam for a maximum of 2 days. But if I put it at 0.01% right now, I can see that there's a whole bunch of other offers in there that are beating my 1%, and people are of course going to take the cheaper option if it's available. So it gets a little bit hard to manage. Although it is low risk, you can obviously set it to a very low interest rate, but then you're not really making any decent money. So there's this awesome website that manages it for you, and it's basically a bot that goes in and utilizes your coins as best as possible while still getting the best interest rate. So right now, the bot would place a clam to beat this 0.003 interest rate that's right here. But as the interest rate goes up, if clam starts to climb in value, you tend to notice that the interest rate actually goes up, because lots of people are borrowing the clams so they can short sell them. It's the same with Doge or any other coin that's kind of going up and mooning. You notice that the interest rate will go up. And what CoinLend actually does, I'll show you the site. This is CoinLend. What CoinLend actually does is it will give you the best interest rate all the time. So once your loan settles, then it puts it back into the market at the best interest rate. So this is just a real quick snapshot of a couple of Bitcoin that I've got sitting in my coin and Poloniex getting lent out at the moment, and you can see here that it's making small amounts of money for me. It's working for me, 200,000 Satoshi. That's pretty safe. It's a pretty safe way of doing it, and it's a lot more than you're getting through the faucets. Faucets are kind of fun to really get started into Bitcoin and maybe start, sending some coins to Poloniex, and then you can put them in there to lend them out and let it grow more for you. So if you're holding on to coins for the long term and you think that it's worthwhile holding your coins on an exchange, which of course carries a little bit of risk with it, then I definitely recommend putting them using CoinLend to manage your actual coins, your lending, so that you get the most out of it. And you can see here, if I go to my loans, you can see here that the interest rate that I'm getting for some of these Bitcoin is ridiculous. I'm getting 2 or 3% over a relatively short period of time. And some of the lower or less utilized coins, maybe like Ripple at the moment, that's actually still open, so it's not getting loaned out at the moment. That's why the interest rate's so poor. But you can see the rate's significantly less. The good thing about CoinLend is it's getting you the best rate to ensure that you're utilizing your coins 100% in the market. And look at this. Some guy has borrowed 0.11 Dash off me and is paying me 6.5% interest rate per, I think that's per day. So that's awesome. That's a real nice way of earning money in relatively low risk way. So that's lending on Poloniex. So that's number 2. Number 3 is investing in Just Dice. So as you know, I'm a fan of Clamcoin, and if you missed the start, make sure you pop your Clamcoin address in the comments so that I can I can draw a winner next week to win a Clamcoin. Just Dice is basically a website that people go to gamble their clams. And you can see here, if we take a look at the bets, people are placing bets all the time. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. The thing is that more often than not, they lose. And that's because Just Dice has a 1% house edge, which means that the house wins just that little bit more than the average Joe wins, or than the gambler wins. And the way that it works is you basically deposit money in here, into this address as an example. It comes up in your balance, and you can see my balance is currently 0 because I don't gamble with the coins. What you can do is you can click on the Invest tab here, and you can actually set to invest your coins in Just Dice. And what it means is that gamblers that have a 1% house edge against them actually gamble against a pool of money that your clam coins are in. And that means that you actually get a small amount of the profits. Now you can see here, you've probably already looked ahead, but over the last, 4 or 5 months, I've made about 18 clams in profit off of pretty small amount of clams. I think I put about 65 into this particular account at the time. This is one of my smaller accounts that I have, but I have a larger one as well that makes me a little bit more. So it's it's a really good way of like a slow growth. The thing about Just Dice is that it is a little bit more risky than Poloniex, because Poloniex lending, you've got this giant company that's based in the US behind you, and they're making sure that everything is secure as possible. On Just Dice, it's run by a guy called Doug and I think his partner Deb. They run the site. They're very honest people from what I know, because they used to run Just Dice with Bitcoin, and when they shut it down, they actually returned everyone their money. They took the site offline for a few months, and then they decided to bring it back. And it's been going for many, many years. You can look up the history of Just Dice and see that it's been going for many, many years as well. Definitely a really good option for growing your Bitcoins in a way that's moderately risky. So obviously there's always the risk with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and everything else in general, that people are going to run away with your money. And this is why Bitcoin was made in the first place, is so you don't have to trust people. But if you want to have the opportunity to grow your Bitcoins, and I probably wouldn't myself do it with my whole stack or my whole portfolio, but with a smaller amount, you can use these strategies to try and grow them and make that money work for you. Another way that you can do that is by trading, and obviously trading is something that requires a bit more skill, and it's something that I'm actually in the process of learning myself. But it's hard and it takes a long time, and that's why I'm doing it with small quantities of money as I begin, and that's why I make these video journals that every Sunday to kind of track my progress. But if you don't have time to do all that and you still want to benefit from the growth of trading, there's actually a website called onebroker.io, and links in the description. And what you can do on this particular site is you can, instead of trading Bitcoins, first of all I should say this site is for trading commodities like gold, oil, silver, things like that. It doesn't actually trade cryptocurrencies, but the same principles apply for trading across a variety across all commodities, essentially, currencies, forex, all that stuff. What you can do is you can deposit, and again I've put a small amount into this particular account. You can put some money into this account, and rather than actually trade it yourself, you can go to the social tab. You can click on successful traders. I tend to change this to successful for the last 12 months to really see what people can do with the money. And you can see that all of these different people are trading. They're highly skilled because they're making consistent profits. And the great thing is you're able to copy them. You're able to mimic their trades. Rather than kind of pay for their advice or try to do it yourself, which is of course super risky, you can actually just copy one of these guys. So let's have a look maybe at let's go back to the start here and get the top ones. So Salt Bay, I had him up before because I was checking him out. He's made like some decent money for this year so far. A lot of that has been in October, November. 100% he's made in October, 600% in November, and that's all through the One Broker platform. So it's not some type of Ponzi scheme where they're just taking everyone's money and they're distributing it slowly as they get more and more people on board. It's not like that. It's actually them trading. So I'm going to copy this guy and maybe chuck 0.003 on max trades per day, and I just simply click copy. And now every time that Salt Bay makes a trade, this system is automatically going to make the exact same trade with the amount of money that I specified, which was 0.003. It's going to make the exact same trades. I've got a bunch of trades open. Some of them obviously do well, some of them not so well. But ultimately, over time, these traders make more money than they lose. And that's why they get these good results. And you can copy them. It's great. It's awesome. It's a really great way, again, to make your money work for you. But this one is getting towards the high risk end. And this next one I'm going to show you is the super high risk one. This is the fifth way to, well, One Broker is the fourth way to grow your Bitcoins, and the fifth way to grow your Bitcoins is a site like chain.group. And I was kind of contemplating not putting this in because it definitely is super risky. And I'll pop my referral link down there as well, so you can jump on and check it out if you want to. But basically, it's a very high risk investment strategy where they take your money, they'll deposit it in into a variety of different trading strategies, and they'll try to come up with more money than you put in. And it's very high risk, because I do kind of think that maybe it's a Ponzi scheme or something like that. But I chucked a couple of $100 in there, thinking, you know what, if I lose it, I lose it. And I didn't lose it. I made my 300 back, and so the money that's in there now is just extra money. But that's also definitely worth checking out. So that's pretty much the video. All the 5 different things and the different ways I'm going to pop in the description, so you can check it out as well. And yeah, the key is make your Bitcoins work for you. I know they're growing right now when it comes to US dollars. It's very much growing. It's growing very, very well. But what if you could kind of amplify that growth by actually growing the amount of Bitcoins you have as well? And that's where you can make real money. So that's it. Crypto Trader Vader signing off. Make sure you pop a comment down there with your Clamcoin address, and I'll see you in the next vid.